Hey everybody, this is Gokai Spartan. If you're new to this channel, what we essentially do on this channel is I make multiverse content mainly centered around Power Rangers, but I branch off into various other franchises. Lately, this video that I'm making right now, that I'm talking in, I'm essentially going to do two things: overview the latest episode that I just aired, and let y'all know my plans for the future in terms of my other projects, included Shattered Grid Redux. Because now that Mommy Week is over, it is I officially need to get to work on the Power Rangers projects. So now, so basically, I guess we'll start with the episode. Basically, there's three goddesses in my universe: Odexio, Mavis, and Rihanna. Odexio is basically the goddess of harmony. Basically, that encompasses almost everything. Mavis is the queen of darkness, where she gains power through discord, and Rihanna is the queen of nature, where she has powers over animals and things that happen like nature. So basically, essentially, this video I need to do a couple of things because this Flawless Military is going to be an ongoing project. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to make it. I don't plan on ending it anytime soon. I have plenty arcs that's going to happen and things of that nature. But essentially, the episode, how it began before the episode even started, was Astronema was attacking Westeros because she thought she could keep the All Mother busy by controlling certain warriors. She figured if she controls Z-Fighters, Viltrumites, and people of that nature, Marvel characters, that she'll be able to, one of them will probably be able to vanquish Odexio. Because the one thing I want to explore on this channel with the villains is three things: the concept of somebody being controlled to be evil, and villainly camaraderie. Towards the end of the video, okay, spoilers if you haven't watched the video yet, go and watch it. It's up because I'm about to basically spoil the end for it right now. So if you haven't watched the video, go and watch it and then come back to this video. Basically, spoilers, Astronema, she essentially bit off a little bit more than she could chew because she didn't realize how broken of a goddess this character was. And like I was saying, I wanted to explore things about being evil because I feel like the best arcs in Power Ranger is when somebody's literally controlled to be evil. Tommy was controlled to be evil. We got the evil Green Ranger arc. Everybody loved it. The Psycho Rangers was humans being transformed against their will. If you read the comic books, like you know information. But yeah, we love that. Astronema, when she became evil, she became a whole crash out and took over the whole galaxy for 24 hours. We love that. Trent, when he was the evil White Ranger, everybody says Trent is the most drippiest Ranger of them all. I agree. I agree, he's one of the most drippiest. There's a couple of suits that are really fire there, but him being evil, and honestly, even though like I don't like, you know, y'all know how I feel about Cosmic Fury, but I did like Ali being evil on Cosmic Fury. That was pretty dope. But like, you know, for the most part, whenever these characters get transformed, I feel like that's the basis of Power Rangers. Most of the storylines is somebody is evil, either because they were programmed to be evil or they were raised to be evil, or created to be evil. Astronema, she was raised to be evil and then she was programmed to be evil. Eclipta, he was programmed to be evil, but I think his AI was malfunctioning because he had compassion and all that. He was treating Astronema like that was his daughter and all that. But Astronema sent a host of opponents after Odexio because she figured one of these people can beat her. Because, like, the power scaling is a little bit wonky in my universe because I include things like Dragon Ball Z alongside Power Rangers and alongside Game of Thrones, which are three completely different power scale universes, and I try to equalize things, but I don't mind a wonky power system. But like, for the most part, now she has to fight these opponents that Astronema sending after them, and she's going. And the thing is, one thing I wanted to do early in my series is make my scenes a little bit more graphic, a little bit more violent, make my characters crash out just a little bit more, because it's like I said, I've been right now. It is August, and I've been doing this since January. So it has officially been about 8 months since I've been doing this. So I'm learning a little bit more with the AI. I'm learning about combat and stuff. That's essentially a goal that I have. Like a lot of people, like for instance, like a lot of people like don't want to use AI. They scoff at it. I'm the opposite. I want to utilize it. I want to learn how to use it. I want to learn how to use it to tell stories. I want to learn how to use it to make videos and to do many things with it. I'm completely the opposite of that. And honestly, every single video that I make, I learn something new. Every video teaches me something. My first video just taught me just to push something out. Like, I know I called it the Flawless Military, and from now on it's going to be called Power Rangers Altered Universe because it just encapsulates more of what I'm trying to do, because the essential theme is Power Rangers, and the Flawless Military, yeah, it's about them, but they're just one part. There's literally 4 different, well, technically 3, because if we really want to be honest, the Galactic Crashers and the Harbingers are essentially the same group, except it's just like a boss employee kind of thing, but they're basically just evil. So it's the 3 groups: it's the Galactic Crashers / Harbingers of Doom, it's the Flawless Military, and it's the Natural Born Power Rangers of the Morphin Grid. So I just decided to just call it Power Rangers Altered Universe. And from the episode where SPD attacks, when Ex Machina and SPD got their little war all the way up until now, those episodes are going to be called Power Rangers Altered. Anything other than that is going to be called Star Force, the Ranger, Flawless Military. And Like, as for Star Force Dual Ranger, I still plan on getting back to those because, I mean, with Star Force, technically Rick Khan is a Star Force Ranger. He was in the episode, so that kind of elaborates on it. And he can probably go back to that when I do the Star Force stuff. And the thing is, I didn't fully finish the House of the Dragon stuff because I could always go back to, because like I said, the Game of Thrones characters are here to stay for the long haul. I plan on doing a lot of storylines with them. They don't necessarily need to stay in Westeros because, like I said, they're with the Flawless Military. The Flawless Military, they have access to technology, corridors of darkness, modern day soap and water and plumbing and stuff. They got shit that they ain't never had in Game of Thrones. So they move in and live in a bit different now because life's a bit different. And Rogexio kind of forced everybody to behave because, like, all right, for context, Rogexio did it because she's trying to create harmony in the universe and stuff like that. But the real reason why the author did it is because I love the Game of Thrones characters, and I feel like everybody deserves a happy ending. I would love to see a united, overpowered version of that world instead of one. Like, the main story is amazing. It's just that they all die, and it's crazy because like I said, I love these characters. So I'm like, you know what? In my universe, it's going to be the opposite. No, they won't all die. They'll all live. In fact, like, death and life is kind of like fluctuating in my universe. There's so many ways people could bring people back to life. There's Operation Phoenix from Rick and Morty, Edo Tensei, freaking Rogexio could just do it with magic. Dexter could probably do it too because Dexter, he wasn't in this episode, but if you watch my previous episodes, he's basically Beatrice's brother. He's just as scary as Rogexio and her sisters when it comes to a power system. Like, he's on some Dr. Manhattan shit. But basically, let me go over the episode so I can get to the Shattered Grid, the juicy part where everybody wants to hear. Alright, so basically, Rogexio fought the Marks. The Marks was a commission from a friend. A friend of mine really wanted me to make the videos of the Marks. She loves Invincible, she loves Mark, and like, she loves my character Rogexio as well. In fact, she kind of helped me make the character a little bit, like, you know, I tell her a lot of stories, she puts input in it, and so she helps out with a lot of Rogexio's character work sometimes too. So she wanted me to put a video of Rogexio basically beating the crap out of the Marks, which I was going to have Rogexio fight a host of opponents anyway. It didn't necessarily matter which universe they were from because the Shrine was just going through the freaking multiverse and taking anybody. They even got P. Diddy up in there. Yeah, the thing is, I made several polls for several things, and like, you know, these polls were literally just future ideas for my episodes and stuff like that. And like, so yeah, Shrine has a lot. She got Daenerys, Alicent, Ramsay, Qyburn is lit because he finally gets to be the scientist he always wanted to be because he was shackled in the Citadel, and Cersei Lannister, she that's why he was working with her because she was an enabler for him. But now you would think Qyburn would be the Flawless Military, and the truth is he is and was. There are double agents in the Flawless Military that the Flawless Military don't know about yet. There are a couple of them. I'm gonna give you a couple. Vanitas, he's one because he's, you know what I'm saying, Xehanort's friend, but he works for Master Xehanort. Obito's another one because he hates Madara. Because even though the timeline is a little bit wonky and different, they still remember all the events that happened in the canon. Like, my story is just a continuation for all the canons that ended, essentially. So Obito remembers the piece of shit that Madara was. He remember that, yo, you the one that made me kill Rin. And even though, like, he gonna work with him because work with the Flawless Military is just lucrative. They like, it's like the best fucking job you could get. You literally like get you like, they have everything and shit like that. And I kind of made them because in this world we don't have something like that. All of our governments, they don't care about us, bro. They're filled with corrupt politicians and evil people. The Flawless Military is filled with corrupt politicians and evil people. But Rogexio's the one in charge. She's the one that's fully directed things. And everybody knows that she wants things to go a certain kind of way. So people are either going to act in accordance or they're going to act slightly in accordance, but do their own thing. But it's just, this world is like, I'm going to be honest, it's hopeless, bro. Like, right now, I'm over here making Flawless Military about monsters getting blown up. As we speak, there's literally people going through that same thing. There's Ikage and Madokos out there right now blowing people up, laughing and not caring because somebody told them to do it, because somebody paid them to do it. There's people actually dying right now, and it hurts. And like, I look at those things sometimes. I'm going a little bit off track, but that's what I do in these rambling videos because my mind goes everywhere. But yeah, like sometimes like what's going on like over there with Israel and them right now, I don't want to touch too much on that, but war is bad, bro. I love war in a fictional context. It's amazing, bro, because first of all, these characters aren't real, so it's like, yeah, even though I feel something for the character, I'm here for the story, I'm here for the engagement. But in real life, when people are actually getting blown up, man, like, there's people actually going through that. That's why I just built the Flawless Military, because, like, the Power Rangers are nice and all, but they're too friendly, they're too kind. Like, Abandoned Building District, Inkworth, things like that. And it's just, I love the Power Rangers. It's just, I'm a grown-ass man, and the Power Rangers hasn't grown past Jungle Fury as far as I'm concerned. But I'll go through my journey. Like RPM, I like RPM, but I like Goanja more, man. Goanja was just, it had that Kingdom Hearts aspect to it. And the Red Ranger reminded me of Sora. Samurai Shinkenja's just 100% better. And the only thing holding Power Ranger Samurai down is Ranger Toa. His funny ass. He's the only thing making Samurai relevant. Freaking Megaforce. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. I'm gonna say the same thing for Cosmic Fury. We don't talk, and I'm saying I'll get to Ninja still. I'll actually touch on that. But Cosmic, we don't talk about, as far as Megaforce and Cosmic Fury, we don't talk about Bruno. No, 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 no. Bruno living fever, Bruno stuttering in stumbling. I can always see him, so the mother in him mumbling. I can associate him with the sound of falling. Okay, I got a little track over that. I'm a Disney fan, guys. I like things like Disney, and I like things like Epic Musical and Hamilton, and I also like rock and roll and stuff like that. I grew up listening to like things like Avenged Sevenfold, Blink-182, Story of the Year, My Chemical Romance. I grew up with that. I also grew up with, you know, Kendrick, Drake, Eminem, you know, the classic rap, because I'm black and I listen, and I'm black, I live in the hood, and I see things like this all the time. I see black stuff all the time. The point I'm trying to make is my interest is diverse. That goes into my music, that goes into my character, that goes into everything that I do. So let's get back to the story, because I keep going back in the track. So she basically, now she, when her fight with the Ginyu Force was interesting, because previously I had her fight the androids, and it was the androids from Trunks' timeline, because I like the androids, I don't want to do nothing to them, but if it's the jackass version from Trunks' timeline, they could get bodied. The Ginyu Force, I love them, but it runs. So like Raccoon, I'm gonna be honest with Raccoon, I completely forgot about, like, it's just like, I'm like, guys, I'm doing this, but it's like, AI is expensive, guys, so like I gotta prioritize what scenes I want to make sometimes. So Raccoon, he was just flattened out at the beginning of the episode. Now Jason Bird, like I figure it would be poetic for them to die the way that their attacks would be. Jason's a projectile user, so he gets lit up by projectiles. Birder is a speedster, so he gets beat up with super speed. Captain Ginyu tries to take her body, but her soul is just too strong for all that. Certain things just don't work on her soul time. And like I think Madara's Sharingan does nothing to her. She is that freaking broken. She's basically a walking skill drain. In fact, she could literally just skill drain you. Yeah, and the thing is, another thing about this world of mine is magic runs in tandem. The Force military and even the Harbingers of Doom have access to Yu-Gi-Oh magic and various other things. So if you see characters just pulling out cards and shit out of nowhere, that's because that's the type of universe they live in. But basically, she defeated them. And oh yeah, and Guldo, that was fun. That one was fun. Guldo was fun to get rid of, because he tried to stop time. Time space don't work on a goddess, man, so goodbye. Now Broly was interesting, because I didn't want to disrespect Broly like that, man. I love Broly. And I love the first Broly. I like the second Broly, but as far as I'm concerned, I want a Broly that's cognitively wanting to murk something. Like I like my villains murder happy. I'm sorry. I like them. I like a little die in my villains. And Broly, the first one encapsulates that fully. The second one, he too friendly. I even made some footage with Rogetsu fighting the second Broly. I originally had it where she was going to place her hand on his head and revert him back to normal, and then Mark was going to show up and she was going to talk to him. But I was debating on who I wanted to show up at the end of the battle, because her going Super Saiyan, she has access to damn near every bloodline in fiction, so like she could just do that. But basically, it was like, as far as who I wanted to show up after the fight, I figured Goku would be the perfect opportunity. It would be a perfect opportunity to introduce Goku and her relationship with the Z Fighters, because I could always touch on that, because she knows these characters. But the Z Fighters kind of don't, their worlds, their galaxies are a little bit separate. She calls herself the All Mother, but she don't really concern herself. She kind of, like, the thing is, you don't think it's because she calls the All Mother, she's a Dominion. She does respect other gods, and she lets certain other gods do their thing. It's just that when things aren't looking right, she feels like she needs to interfere. She's an interfering force more so than anything else. Like, if the universe is in order, like if Zeno is not doing anything too crazy, there's no need for her to step in. If Zeus ain't doing anything too crazy, I actually got to get back to the Greek gods and her, because I have a whole storyline with that. There's a reason why she's called Calypso, because I have a whole, like, if you watch the video where she's talking to the Morphin Master, she goes by many names. She goes by Calypso, Rogetsu, Gloria, various others. But she has titles. She's like Daenerys in a way. Speaking of Daenerys, she's evil along with Ramsay and all of those other individuals. Now when we get to the Game of Thrones war itself, I needed this war. Now I made a poll to say who y'all wanted to kill the Night King, and every single one of y'all picked the Power Ranger. Every time I put a Power Ranger picture, I just clicked it. It's like I just feel like, I guess I have more Power Ranger people in Game of Thrones, but I remember in the previous video he clicked to use Multiply to duplicate the Night King, so I could just have them all kill him. There's various versions of them. They all get their licking, and I could pick and choose which character I want. Now, to put the entire cast of Game of Thrones killing the Night King, that is a task in itself. So I just picked and choose which ones I wanted on the battlefield. For context, the other guys were on the battlefield, you just didn't see them. But the ones that we were showcased that I could recall, Stannis Baratheon, I had to put the Manus up there. We all love Stannis the Manus. That's my guy right there. Had to put up there. Robert Baratheon, I love. There was a YouTube person that made a story about Robert actually killing the Night King, and I love that story. So I always wanted to see Robert actually just crush him with his warhammer. Jaime Lannister, my version of Jaime has two hands, so yeah, he's lit. It's over for the Night King. It's two-handed Jaime. Cersei and Tyrion, I mean, I always like playing with Cersei and Tyrion, having a little dynamic. Plus, Tyrion kind of annoyed me to all ends with that honeycomb and the jackass reference. Honeycomb and the jackass, bring it to it, the brothel. Shut up. So I needed Cersei to say something there. Like, I like doing stuff with the Lannisters. It's crazy, because even though all the Game of Thrones characters kind of like, I wouldn't say they're all friends, but they're more or less united. Some alien shit pull up, they all gonna be at the door to fight that shit. But yeah, I still like to keep their characters intact, so that's why Sam's gonna call Bran the usurper, because even though Rogetsu was the All Mother, there's multiple kings now, and Seven Kingdom is different than the way it ended in season 8. Everybody still remembers season 8, so Stannis remembers this little usurper was a little shit that fucking sat on the Iron Throne. Stannis gonna say something about that. So, freaking, after that, let's see. The Ice Giants, now, like I said, the foundation of this story is the Kingdom Hearts one. And Ice Titans don't necessarily have to be limited to Greek mythology. You could literally just form a creature of ice from the ice itself. And I feel like the Night King would have that ability if it was a more fantastical, magical world, which mine is. So, they had to fight the Ice Titans, and you know, they had to show them doing some damage. They're giant titans walking through, doing some damage. And, like, for the Megazord fight, I remember I had Joffrey and Marcel in the previous one. I didn't put Tom in there. The truth is I have other plans for Tom and Baratheon. More flawless military plans, probably going to be a part of a team or something. But in the Megazord cockpit, it was Ned Stark, Illyria Sand, and for the record, Illyria Sand is the voice of Rogexiel. That's the voice I chose for Rogexiel because I just felt like it'll be like when I created Rogexiel, I didn't know what voice I wanted to give her, and I was just listening to the freaking Dorne lore once I was in the Game of Thrones lore. And I'm like, oh, Illyria Sand would be a perfect Rogexiel, and then I just decided to go with that, and that's just the voice that I use for Rogexiel for the most part. But yeah, it was Oberyn Martell, Illyria Sand, freaking Theon Greyjoy, Tywin Lannister, Ned Stark, and Jon Royce. Now, I could have put a more popular character, but the Vale doesn't get any representation. I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm kind of kicking myself for missing the opportunity. I should have put Sweet Robin in there. He should have been like, let's make the Batman fly. I missed the opportunity. And it's crazy because I was thinking about this at work. Like I said, I don't make this all in one sitting. I do it separately. I go to work. I have real life. So when I do make these things, I do have these ideas, but certain ideas don't always get translated through because I got to make the video. I have a certain amount of things to make the video with, and it's like, I want to get this out. And another thing is, I wanted to get through this Long Night storyline because I done made the Long Night like a month ago. It's just that, in truth, I felt like the video didn't get enough traction because it's just like mixing Power Rangers and Game of Thrones is kind of mixing. I'm going to do it. I am determined. I am effing determined on Zordon, on Ned, on Zordon, on Ned. I'm going to do it. But yeah, son. But basically, it's just like, so I just wanted, because I'm pretty sure y'all want to see Shattered Grid Redux, and I'm pretty sure y'all want me to cover other teams of Power Rangers. I'm pretty sure y'all want to see other characters. And I'm pretty sure the handful of people that like the flawless military want to see them too. But I had to get through this long night in order to do it. And it was a hassle for me to do it because it was a hassle for George R.R. Martin to even tackle this task himself. Because the long night came out and we all didn't like it. And I felt like it kind of freezed him on making the book. I don't know what's going on with the books, but I hope he gets back to it eventually. But essentially, the long night, it's a daunting task. And I'm not going to even say I did the best job. I'm not going to say I'm flawless, just even though I call my flawless military flawless. I'm not. I follow the very words of Miss Frizzle. Take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. I don't believe in perfection. I just create, and I just do. I just want to make it and put it out there. That's just how I operate, because for the longest I've been wanting to make these stories. For the longest I've been wanting to make flawless military a thing. And I feel like what was holding me back was I wanted it to be perfect. Now I don't care about perfection. I just want it to exist. So I want it to exist, and I want people that like it to like it and engage with it. And I hope that I touch some people. I hope people are enjoying it, because the franchises that I cover, a lot of us are starved for content right now. Like Power Rangers, Power Rangers, like they say they're doing some new stuff, but I don't trust them no more after y'all gave me Inkworth, Megaforce, and Cosmic Fury. And I'm going to wait until I see something, and then I'll go on it. Sentai, on the other hand, that's doing pretty good, because number one Sentai, I was just watching that. They just had like a mini Forever Red episode where they fought the Red Rangers, and it was just amazing. Like, I'm going to cover some more number one Sentai, but the truth is I want to watch that from front to back, because I skip around a lot when I watch Sentai and Power Rangers. So once I cover it from front to back, I'll give you an updated review on number one Sentai. So essentially, they all killed the Night King. They all have to get the elixir. And of course, Jon Snow got to kill the most Night Kings because he's the one who's the most mad. And so that was over. And Rogexiel is, Astronomer's not going to be able to escape her. She's cosmic. Like, you're going to go to another nebula, she's just going to teleport to that nebula and grow the size. She's just going to go unfathomably big where you just can't do anything, and then boom, you made her that bad. Rogexiel likes to hold back. She's a lot like Goku in that sense, where she likes to hold back. She doesn't like to observe and use all of her power. That's why when she saw Goku, she went Super Saiyan Blue immediately, because she knows the type of threat that an evil Goku could pose. So she just wanted to end him immediately. But someone like Z Broly, she's just gonna go regular Super Saiyan Blue. She has other powers in other forms. This, like she said, this ain't even her final form. But yeah, she got rid of Astronomer. And there was a scene where Littlefinger and Jon Snow was talking. The truth is, it's just like, I have to, like, for Littlefinger, it's just like, since he's the one who kind of is the reason Rogexiel's there, because Rogexiel will just be bringing people back on a whim, because she brings back bad people thinking she can change them and stuff like that. And sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. I'll give you two examples. In Littlefinger's case, it might work and it might not, because it's hard to change someone's nature, but at the same time, Littlefinger kind of got a lot of what he already wanted. And, you know, you got to think of it this way. These people are humans at the end of the day. If you've done made so many mistakes in your life and it led to your death, you wouldn't think to change your ways if you got a second chance of life. So that's probably him and a lot of them. That's why they're not really beefing with each other, because they realize what all that freaking war and death has done. That's why the Seven Kingdoms is united now, because they'd rather crash out on their enemies instead of each other. And so Venus decided to help the Seven Kingdoms and try his best to do good towards that, especially help out. The truth is, the Flawless military is kind of separate when it comes to dealing with the Seven Kingdoms. Littlefinger mostly deals with the Starks, but it's usually Xemnas and Xigbar who deals with the Lannisters. I haven't explored that much, but I will get to that eventually. I do have something planned for Xemnas and Master Xehanort having a conversation about ideals and whether he decides stuff. There's a lot of things I got in progress, but I gotta get to work soon, guys. So I'm gonna touch up on the Shattered Grid project real quick. Now, I last left off. We last left off basically with Lord Draken and Saba and the Ranger Slayer meeting Rita. There's several ways I could go about this, guys, and I want you to comment in the comment section how you want me to do this, because like I said, I make this as I go along. I could either touch on the Coinless Rangers and do something with that universe, and that could be the new episode and probably lead up to something going on with the Mighty Morphin. I could touch on the Mighty Morphin Rangers. I could make something up entirely, or I could just go straight into the war. I could just go straight into when Draken started attacking the teams. And to be honest, I'm already prepared because I've already started making the footage for that already. I already have some of the samurai footage of Draken attacking the samurai base. I just haven't made it yet because I didn't know exactly where I wanted to start with it when I first made the Shattered Grid project. But that's essentially, I do have some of that footage for it, so I could start there. Just let me know in the comments, like, you know, like which I would more or less be interested in. But yeah, I'm more or less going to do that. There's a lot of characters that I do need to cover, and probably characters that I'm probably going to add, and scenarios and stuff like that. Because like I said, this is not a one-to-one adaptation of the comic books, because I like that, do my own twists and turns and add my own spin to things. But I got to get to work, guys, so I'm going to more or less upload this later, because I do got to put the footage all together. I'm recording this before I'm going to work, so when I come back, I'm more or less going to put the footage to the video, and I'm going to upload this, and it'll be on YouTube. So if you like anything I had to say, if you like any of my content, always feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a marvelous day.